Bust it.
Hello and thanks for staying with us. Welcome to Political Platform. My name is Ait Political. It's a beautiful Thursday morning at the nation's capital. Some developments we want to be sharing with you, political and economic, as the nation marches towards the 2019 election. But the big story is all about anti-corruption campaign victory for the EFCC yesterday in an Abuja High Court. After 11 years of trial, former governor of Taraba State, Reverend Jolly Nyame, was convicted, a man of God, was convicted for corruption. He was found guilty in 27 out of the 41 count charges preferred against him. So it is a morale booster for the EFCC, an organization that has been accused of not recording any high-profile conviction. They have now one now. But will it go the way of James Nglare, the former governor of Adamawa State, who was also convicted a few years back, but he quickly went to the appeal court, and the appeal court quashed the conviction by the lower court. But we can tell you there are about 22 governors who are currently standing trial, while our former governors always being dragged to court over corruption charges. Is it because of the nature of the manner they manage the resources of their states? Well, you can make that judgment by yourself. But we'll be reading out the names of the 22 who have researched and listed and see whether there's any that is missing from that huge list. Since 1999, when democracy returned, most of these trials started after the governors that won elections in 1999 completed their 2 terms in 2007. Others are also involved. There are so many of them whose trial started with that of Jolly Nyame, but their case is still dragging in court. Talk about a speedy dispensation of justice. It was a drama yesterday in the Senate chambers. Dino Melaye, the senator APC from Kogi State, resumed the plenary. It came without, it must, of course, if you know Dino Melaye, come with some drama and controversy. Technically, they said he has moved over to the PDP when he chose to sit on the side of the opposition. You know, in the National Assembly, be the House of Representatives of the Senate is divided into two. On one side, you have members of the ruling party, and the other side, you have the opposition party. So, on one side, APC senators, and on the other side, PDP senators, with a carpet separating them. That's why in some democracies, such as the parliamentary system, they call it cross-carpeting. When you cross-carpet, when you move from one side, move across the carpet to the other side, is deemed that you have dumped your party and have joined another one. He didn't announce his formal cross-carpet or defection here, in this instance in the presidential system of government, but of course we know that he is there now with the PDP, where he says he's more comfortable. And in the southeast, the move by IPOB to ensure no movement yesterday saw a partial compliance in some cities, but total compliance in just 2 states, 2 cities, Aba and Onitsha. In Ebonyi State, it was a failure as the people stood with their governors who said there's no place for IPOB in their place. But some 20 members of a group that called itself Biafra Zionist Federation, they carried their placards and their Biafra flags and wanted to take over the Enugu State Government House, but they were quickly arrested and apprehended by the police. My colleagues are here. Adiba Bodere is joining us. Thank you so much.
Well, Amishi, what I'm drawing attention to this morning has to do with deliberation on a bill at the House of Representatives yesterday, and it's a bill to control small arms in the country. And the alarming figures that were read out during the consideration of the bill is what bothers me. It bothers me because he said 70% of the total illegal arms in West African sub-region are in private hands in Nigeria, and it's a source of concern. It's a source of concern because we're approaching election. There's going to be election in Ekiti. There's going to be election in Osun State. There's also going to be the general election, which is less than a year away. And so when you have such huge arms in the hands, illegally in the hands of people, it's a source for concern. I think something needs to be done in a way of either collecting or making these things impossible. It's really alarming that you find instances where there are arms importation at the airport beyond the media fanfare of saying we have cartons or whatever quantity of arms have been seized. We don't hear anything. Who are the brains behind this illegal importation? I mean, are they big men? Are they those who cannot be touched? Are they untouchables? I think it's high time we start looking into this serious issue until the whole nation is over. I mean, that we allow people to overrun the nation, we allow people to hold arms, and then a deep feeling of insecurity, of property and the lives is already very prevalent in the country. Something seriously needs to be done about these illegal arms that are freely being distributed and freely being sold and freely being owned across the country.
We used to call it proliferation of small arms, but my fear is that those in circulation illegally in wrong hands in Nigeria may not just be light arms. They have graduated from light arms to more sophisticated arms. Talk of upcoming election. Recall what happened during the last governorship elections in Bayelsa State. It was like a battlefield where those heavy arms that were in the hands of the unauthorized persons.
It was even low level. I call it low level armed struggle for power.
Well, let's hope that we begin to tidy up the borders. Of course, the porous borders in northern Nigeria, even the ports where we have several security agencies stationed. We'll still see some of these arms pass through. Those seizures in Lagos, if you recall, the first one was done outside the port. It was successfully cleared and was being transported away from Lagos State when they impounded it. But we need to do more towards this regards. But my colleague, another of my colleagues here, Shola Jaisimi, welcome to Political Platform.
Tailing off on the issue about proliferation of arms, as we speak, the Inspector General of Police had about 2-3 months ago ordered all the commissioners of police to do an arms mop-up. And by the time these commissioners of police started giving us the stats of arms they had recovered, I use the word recovered because they said, I'm talking about the security agents now, that look, if you have any arms, weapons with you, not licensed or even licensed, come back to the various state commands, let us do a re-registration. But what we found out is that most of those who even have licensed arms were not giving back those weapons. Huge cache of arms that police had recovered. Some other analysts are asking, look, you are asking people to submit arms, either licensed or unlicensed or unregistered. Now, if you leave people vulnerable, those who are carrying arms illegally, specifically pointing in the direction of the criminals, the bandits, the herdsmen, that what happens to them? That's a question many have also been asking. Now, going back to the issue that we raised at the beginning of discussion about governors, which we'll still go deep into. I remember a case which we normally mention very well on this program. Our former head of the political bureau, who used to say it, and you know, whenever he says that, he used to dramatize it, that Lucky Benedion, was the governor of Edo State, who was there for 2 terms. He was convicted, and that he put his hands in his back pocket and paid the fine. He was asked immediately. So, you know, the issues about the will of justice and
this
the
one was
quality
not
of justice.
It was a conviction, not like you rightly mentioned, the Lucky Benedion and the late Alamesia convictions that were true plea bargain.
True plea bargain. So, those who are politically exposed persons need to realize that there's a day of reckoning. The wheels of justice might grind very slowly, but it surely will. You know, clearly a difference from when it said that justice delayed is justice denied. I think it's a plus for the EFCC only on Tuesday as well, it was also reading out his own achievements, saying that in the last 3 years, probably pointing in the direction of when Magu took over as acting EFCC boss, that we had secured over 340-something convictions. This is just one to that, and we see the anti-corruption fight and battle gathering more momentum. But some will say it's pointing in the direction of opposition figures. We leave that for conjunction.
Well, we promise you from our research, 22 former governors undergoing trial for corruption. One of them, late Michael Bootmang of Plateau State, he died in the course of his trial. We'll keep the other list for you. Thank you so much for remaining with us. We are still counting the blessings of democracy 19 years after the return of democracy in 1999. It's been several years, almost 2 decades of uninterrupted democracy. We are still taking stocks and looking at areas where we can improve on from our pitfalls. And we have joining us via telephone now Mohammed Ibrahim Biu. He is the spokesperson of the Arewa Consultative Forum. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Amici. Thank you.
So, how will you describe Nigeria's journey towards democracy, especially the Fourth Republic?
Well, first of all, let me congratulate Nigeria for surviving the 19 years of democracy. They have been steadfast in their commitment to democracy, resilience, and also patience to see that at least democracy continues to rise in Nigeria. We must congratulate ourselves for that. Secondly, I would also want to say that in the 3 years of President Muhammad Buhari's regime, the government have had some challenges and also successes in some areas, which I think Nigeria should give a chance to the government to continue to consolidate on the gains so that we don't lose what we have gained in these 19 years of democracy.
So what would you say are the challenges we are facing as a democratic country?
Well, first of all, we have had challenges in security. We have had challenges in the areas of economy. We have had challenges in the areas of fight against corruption. So these are areas that really have affected our journey to a successful democracy. Because you recall that the Northeast in the last, before President Buhari's regime came in, for about 6 or 7 years, was engulfed in this Boko Haram insurgency, which really made life very, very difficult to our people in the Northeast. Not only in the Northeast, the issue even extended to other parts of the North, including Kaduna, Kano, and even Abuja, the seat of government. So, but thank God that with the determination of government, the issue has been somehow contained, and the degradation of the insurgency will continue to localize the activities of this Boko Haram within a small portion of the Northeast. You also recall that even the Chibok girls that were kidnapped 4 years ago, government has been able to at least rescue about over 100 of them, and even the recent one, that is the Dutch girls that were also kidnapped by Boko Haram, they've been rescued.
Yes, the Boko Haram degraded, but some will say we have maybe a bigger security challenge now with the killings going on across the country. Some see it as a bigger threat to the unity of the country, right, being concentrated right at the center of the nation.
Yeah, it's true that we have had this kind of farmers had clashes, bandits attacks, and so many things in Benue, Plateau, Zamfara, Adamawa, and other states. We also have the issue of tacticism in Lagos, Rivers, and some other states in the southeast. These are security challenges, but you will agree with me that our security agencies have been tackling this issue because there has been a lot of their military and security operations in tackling the situation. So to me, these are very assuring and other practical demonstrations by government to overcome this kind of menace that has really to destabilize our democracy.
Yeah, let me ask you, sir. The issue of restructuring has become a recurring decimal in political discourse, and just like in other parts, I mean, in other regional groupings in the country, the North also came out with set up committees. The Bugaje committee generated ideas, and then there is also the committee set up under the leadership of the governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwa. When are we? And then the decision was that the decisions that we arrive at will be discussed with other regional groups in the country so that there can be a national consensus. What is the position on these issues as at now?
Well, when the issue of restructuring has been on, I mean, since independence we have had restructuring in so many forms. You are fully aware, in 1963 we had a restructuring that gave birth to another state, that is the Midwest. Thereafter, we had this problem of secret, the interruption by the military that distorted our democratic journey. And even during the military and the civilian government, we have had various restructuring in government. But coming to the issue of restructuring, which has been on or has been the agitation of hundreds of people, I think because we are in a democracy, the issue should be addressed democratically.
That's through the National Assembly.
That is it. That is it. It should be addressed. It's not on the pages of newspapers or by issue communities. We have representatives, elected representatives in the National Assembly.
So some have said the present structure of the country is the one that has seen the country perform so badly. If you take a look at these various socio-economic indices, that if you leave this solely to the National Assembly, it may not get the needed push that it deserves.
So what do we do? We are in a democracy. What do we do? Let me tell you, it is our problem as far as I am concerned, and as far as most Nigerians are concerned. Our problem is not the structure. It's our attitude to issues. It's the way we do things in Nigeria. It's not the structure.
What?
Even at the state level, we still have problems at the local government. We have problems. It's because of our attitude. It's not the structure. So to me, if we really want to do things rightly and in a civilized way, the best thing to do is to follow the rule of law.
Maybe what some have been saying, especially what my colleague Adeba Bodera alluded to, was the fact that regional groupings are adopting position. That if at the end of the day, all the groups have reached a position, they will come to the center and talk, and whatever is the outcome, they push it to the National Assembly, that it will get greater attention from National Assembly members if this kind of arrangement takes place.
Okay, let me refer you back to 2014 conference by Jonathan. It's the same kind of agitation that gave birth to that 2014 national conference. And the 2019 national conference made a lot of recommendations, which some of them involve altering the constitution, some of them are policy issues, some of them is enactment of new laws. So, at that time, what the government need to do, or people need to this report to the National Assembly. And as soon as the report gets to the National Assembly, I think the National Assembly will start working on it and pass it to states so that the states can implement. And I'm sure, if you recall, the National Assembly set up a committee to review the Constitution, and some of the issues being considered are the 2014 National Conference. So, what else are we going to do? We have had so many conferences, so many committees. All we need to do is to push them.
Okay, Malam Biu, I'll ask you this. Okay, Malam Biu, the Arewa Consultative Forum, a socio-political group for northern Nigeria, eventually came out with a position. You are the National Publicity Secretary of the group, that the National Conference report should be jettisoned. Now you are advocating that that report should have done a lot of good. Can you juxtapose the position?
What we said was that the National 2014 National Conference
report.
No, report. We participated in it. We participated in that conference as ACF, Area Consultative Forum. So there's no way to say that.
Okay.
What we are saying, let the aspects of that report that Nigerians want, let them take the aspects of those reports to the National Assembly and let the National Assembly work on it and then come up with a decision to formalize.
Okay, does that not mean the balkanization of the report which you represent?
We cannot, listen, we cannot be saying that this is the thing that suits northern Nigeria or southern Nigeria or eastern Nigeria or western Nigeria. Nigerians participated in that conference. And the point or the recommendation contained in that report are recommendations of Nigerians. It's not an issue of, you see, this is why we have problems. When we start to collaboration to issues that Nigerians start and recommend, and then you start asking another, is it a northern issue? Is it a western issue? Is it a south? I think this is the problem. Once we regard issues, that if you see Nigerians, 3 or 4 of them, no matter where they come from, they sit there, decide on something, then it becomes a Nigerian.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mohammed Ibrahim Biu, the spokesperson of the ACF, for speaking with us.
Thank you, I'm
Okay, let's quickly share the list that we promised you about 22 governors, former governors, that are undergoing trial by the EFCC. So ICPC Abdullahi Adamu, former governor of Nasarawa State.
Now he's serving senator.
Now he's senator. Well, most of them are in the Senate now, coincidentally. Ahmed Sani Yerima, also in the Senate, former governor of Zamfara State. Joshua Dariye, former governor of Plateau State, a senator. Ojuzo Kalu, former governor of Abia State, who aspired to be a senator but failed. Ibrahim Shekarau, former governor, a politician with the PDP now. Jonah Jang, former governor of Plateau, a senator. Rashid Ladoja, former governor of Oyo State. Then Christopher Alawa Kala, also former governor of Oyo State. Benga Daniel, former governor of Ogun State. Saminu Turaki, former governor of Jigawa State. Sule Lamido, the man that succeeded Saminu Turaki in Jigawa. Then we have Gabriel Suswane, former House of Rep member, former governor of Benue State. Murita Lanyako, former governor of Adamawa State. Amadou Fintiri, former governor of Adamawa State.
Acting governor. Yes,
acting governor for a brief period. Atahiru Bafarawa, former governor of Sokoto State. Danjuma Goje, serving senator and former governor of Gombe State. Chimaroke Namani, former governor of Enugu State, who aspired to be a senator but failed. The late Michael Bootman, he acted as governor in Plateau State. So many of them from Plateau. Joshua Dariye, Jonah Jang, Michael Bootman. What's happening in Plateau State? Ikedia Hakim, former governor of Imo State. Bukola Saraki's case is with the Code of Conduct Tribunal. Former governor of Kwara State, but now Senate President. Ibrahim Shema, former governor of Katsina State. And the case of Peter Odeli is a bit different. He was taken to court, but he got a perpetual injunction restraining the FCC from carrying on. So a big list of former governors undergoing trial.
Yeah, well, the whole thing is the Chief Justice of the Federation himself raised at the forum yesterday, is that this justice delayed is justice denied. The totality of when somebody is undergoing trial for such a long period of time, 11 years or more than that, I think we should start seeing it as an aberration in such a way that we can fast track the process of justice delivery in the country.
And that's why the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015 was signed into law to help speed up the process of justice dispensation. So that if you are accused, you go to court, you have your day in court as speedily as possible. You're either set loose and set free, discharged and acquitted, or you are convicted and you quickly go and face the trial. So that the trauma of a long judicial process is put on the side.
Jim, I reckon the man was actually a senator from 2007 to 2011, but failed to return in 2011-2015. So we have seen a pattern here. Why are most of them in the Senate undergoing trial? Are they rushing there for a safe haven? Well, we don't know. These are some of the issues we are trained for you to indeed chew home with. Thank you so much for being part of the program today. We return tomorrow, Friday, for the very last edition of the week. My name is Ait. Enjoy your day.
Bust it.